Welcome to Dominate, where we discuss strength and conditioning and much more. Isabella Goudros.
Yeah.
The undercover monster is what I call Izzy. She has this nice smile, but she's just so competitive and works so hard. Welcome to Dominate Discussions. What we want to do is just tell everybody who you are, what you do. Who's Isabella?
Thanks for having me. I'm excited. I'm excited to see you again.
Good to see you.
Track and field. I'm kind of all over the place with the events. Mostly like sprints and hurdles, the heptathlon. I've been doing it for, I want to say 7 years.
7 years.
And I've been weightlifting since I was 8.
Weightlifting since you're 8 years old.
Yeah, and I'm 18 almost, so.
10 years.
Yeah, almost a decade.
You know, stand up for a sec. You don't look jacked to me. And you don't look like you stunted your growth to me, huh?
No.
So how's the journey been, being, doing weightlifting and sprinting? How's that journey been? Explain some of that.
I definitely think the two have helped each other out. For track, at least, I started out just as a sprinter. I didn't love it. I mean, I like it, but I like the hurdles more.
What didn't you like about sprinting?
I thought like just running in a straight line, like I like having the obstacles there to focus on. I find it's easier to train too.
No wonder you like heptathlon.
Yeah, I get a nice variety.
Right, okay. So sprinting didn't catch on to you right away, but you're good at it.
Yeah, so I decided, actually I think I was maybe 12 when I did like my first little multi-event. And I realized I like the throws, I like the jumps. I still love hurdling. So I kind of just grabbed to that one. And now for university, like for recruiting, I stuck with the heptathlon, which was helpful.
And which university are you going to?
Going to Harvard. I'm leaving in August. I'm excited.
So are we. We're so super
I'll miss it here, though.
excited for you. So super. We're going to miss you. I know you're pretty, modest and you don't like to brag, but I'll brag for you. How many records have you broken, or how many records do you own?
I've never actually counted.
Or you can list the ones that are mostly
my first record
favorite.
I think I ever broke was the multi-event, like U14.
Okay.
That was the first one I remember. Last summer, actually 2 summers ago now, the 4x1 team, we got the national record. That was exciting. It was in Mexico. I've missed out just a little bit at a few different meets, which I'm still sad about, but I have the provincial record indoor-outdoor for hurdles.
What distance?
80 meter, actually no, do I have the 100? No, I have the 80 and then the 60 indoor.
The 60 indoor. I remember watching you run that 200 meter race.
I love the 200.
Yeah, man.
That's my favorite sprint.
It's your favorite.
Yeah.
It was the indoor at York. And I was there trying to get some shots of you, but it was hard for me to get shots because watching you come off that corner and just like it was just beautiful to watch that.
Thank you.
It's just that curiosity, and you're running against older girls.
Yeah.
You're running against older girls at time. It's like, wow, you're going to be something special. So
thank you.
I can't wait to see your development. Going to Harvard and seeing you definitely on the national team and so on and so forth.
Big goal.
But talking about national team, you're a junior champion or youth champion for Canada.
Yeah.
In what events? And also weightlifting.
I got a bronze.
Bronze
best accomplishment in weightlifting.
All right, so a national champion, bronze in weightlifting as a junior, right? And also track and field.
Yeah, so 2019 nationals, I won the 200 and then the HEP, and then our 4x4 came second.
Nice.
So that was a nice meet for me.
That was
nice. It was busy. Yeah. 11 events later.
A lot of work, right? It was amazing. So for you, in terms of, the grind of training, for example, how many times do you train a week?
On a good week, 6 to 7. We try to do like active recovery days and do something. It's definitely harder with COVID because there are less options. Like I used to go rock climbing.
Right.
I don't do that anymore.
So basically, when things are normal or it doesn't matter, you don't take any days off.
I try not to.
Like every day you're generally doing something.
Yeah, even if it's just like a light cycle on like the bike.
Something.
It's something, yeah.
Elite athletes don't take days off pretty much.
Yeah.
You may not be doing your specific sport, but you're doing something. What do you enjoy doing on your days off?
I love cooking.
What?
I do.
What's your favorite food?
Chicken wings.
What?
I like all types of chicken
Where's
wings.
mine? I've never gotten any chicken wings. Gotta talk to your dad about that, man.
They don't make it out of the house.
Oh, he cleans them up, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. What is it like, training your dad as your coach?
There are some good days, there are bad days. It's definitely, it has its challenges for sure, but it's also good because this schedule is really flexible. He always has my best interest in mind.
Right.
I know that. We definitely have our back and forth arguments.
But there's something to be said about knowing that, because obviously I have a father-daughter relationship.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say to me, how can you train your daughter? Don't get me wrong, as a dad, it's difficult because you got to know when to say something and when to shut up.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
So I think I've mastered that. But with her, she knows I have her best interest in mind. So that trust is nothing she has to worry about.
We're still trying to get to your level with Maya.
Yeah.
We're not quite there.
Yeah.
It's a little more civil with you guys.
Yes. Yeah, sometimes your dad asks me, how do you do that? How does that work?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm kind of lucky that way. But she has her moments, She won't say it, she has her moments.
Yeah.
But it I don't want to put words in, but it is a special.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be different next year.
Yeah.
Because he's been my only coach for a long time, at least in track.
He's going to have a hard time.
He always threatens to buy an RV and follow me. I was like, no.
He's going to buy an RV?
I was like, you stay here.
I can see George literally.
That's the scary part.
Having him some telescope, watching your track session, sending you messages late at night saying, okay, this is not, you got to do this.
Oh, yeah.
But I've known your dad forever, man. He's a great guy. Love your dad. He's just a great person. So that's why we've been friends for such a long time. Yeah. And he knows his stuff, as you can see.
That is one thing I'll give.
Yeah, your dad knows your stuff. I have to call him, and we go back and forth with some things, and he enlightens me to some things, and we go, because your dad, he's not going to make a dummy train his daughter, his pride and joy.
He's very particular about the coaches.
Yeah, so it's an honor that he would actually let me, coach his daughter, because he's no dummy. We've been to seminars, training, this and that. He knows this stuff inside and out.
For sure.
So, you're lucky.
I am, definitely.
Yeah, and he never stops learning. He's always.
That is true. No matter what, he's on an Altus call or whatever he's doing.
He's learning something. What are your dreams? What are your
okay, so next year, for track at least, I would love to make it to the NCAAs as a freshman.
You will.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
At least by second year, it'd be nice to get in top 5. Eventually, I'd like to top 3 or win. That's the goal.
Nice.
Harvard's in the Ivy League conference, so I want to get the record in that for the multi or the hurdles.
Right.
Right now, I'm trying to get to the national team. So I was on the U18 one. I want to get to a senior one.
Right.
Olympics is the big goal.
The big goal, right? So Olympics, that would be, COVID what? I don't know if it's going to be 2024.
2024 is the Paris one, so that's the big one I'm looking for.
That would be amazing. I might see you there as well,
Maya, yes.
What is the toughest thing going through COVID right now and a lot of delays? You're not, because I know one thing I know about you is you're a competitor.
I like to compete. I do.
You're a competitor.
I love competing, actually.
And you know how I know that? It's that board over there. It's you make a bullseye and then it's done. I was amazed at how that curiosity, with a smile, I would say. You know what I mean? Because you come across just so nice and meek, but you like to win.
I do.
Right?
It's a nice feeling.
Yeah, How are you going through the, not competing right now?
It's definitely difficult. Training without an actual meet or goal right there. Because normally you train, you're okay, I have a competition this date, I need to be ready. Now you're training, you're still just as tired, but you're I don't know when I'm going to compete.
There's no reward at the end of the
Yeah, and it's hard training alone for sure. I miss being here, having Maya's playlist going. It's hard on my own.
Yeah. And we miss you too, man. Yeah. This COVID is just killing everybody. And just to be honest, Maya's having a hard time. She's struggling. Everybody, I was talking to your father the other day, some athletes thrive with that, being by themselves or, And some athletes, they don't really need other people, even though they're by themselves. They just, you just like you said, that, okay, Maya's over there, you guys are training, might not say 2 words to other. It's just that, I guess, camaraderie of that community of training, athletes in the gym, everybody's doing their thing.
Yeah, it's like the environment's just different.
So tell me about this environment. Why do you like or you don't like this environment? Why do you miss training at LPS?
I just miss having people around kind of like there, like when you're getting a PB, they're like screaming for you. Like when it's silent in the gym and you're trying, it's hard to get up off like the bottom of a squat.
It's tough.
Yeah.
We have a culture here that attracts a lot of people. So basically what you're saying is you like that, the hard working environment. Yeah,
when you're tired, like there's other people who are just as tired as you. And like you see theirs keep going, so you got to keep going. So now when I'm tired, I'm just sitting there alone. You're like, I don't really want to finish.
Right.
But you do.
Do you like heavy work or do you like?
No, I don't like a lot. I like just like really heavy, no volume. Like every time you give me the option, you're like, if you PB, there's nothing after, then I will do everything to PB.
You always go for the PB. There's like, you never look at me. I give you an option. Okay, Izzy, if you do that, you're done.
I will do it.
You always look at, and that's the thing. Like you lift heavy weights for how many years now?
10, 9.
Yeah.
I guess I started with like a broomstick.
Yeah, slowly. Yeah.
I'll go with 8, like actual decent weight.
Yeah, for sure, because you're learning, getting that neural drive, and that what we're trying. A lot of people don't understand. Strong is strong.
Yeah.
Strong is not big.
Yeah.
And you're a perfect example. Give me some, if you don't mind. What's your best back squat?
100. That was a
weighing
week
at what?
ago.
Weighing at what?
55.
55 kilos. Hear that? 100 kilos. That's 220 pounds. Weighing at 55 kilos. What's your best front squat?
90.
90 kilos, 200, 198. What's your best snatch?
60. I was proud with that one.
That's throwing a bar right over her head from the ground. Okay, so she's snatching over her body weight. What's your best power clean?
80.
80 kilo power clean. Monster. If you ever see this girl grab the ground, it's just beautiful to watch. Like,
thanks.
a lot of people don't understand. I'm a track lover.
Yeah.
I used to live at a track. Track was that was my thing. I love track and field. So that's my first passion. So watching you come in to watch you race and seeing how you grip that ground and how much force production you generate is just beautiful to watch.
Thank you.
What's your best jerk?
80. I haven't put them together yet, but they're both 80.
That's monster. That's 80 kilos directly over your head.
Yeah.
That's rate of force development. That's power. So I guess what I'm trying to say, or let people understand how important it is to really be proficient in that neural drive.
Yeah, for sure.
To learn to lift heavy weight and learn to lift it as often. For a week of training, how often would you go heavy once you're in the weight room?
I try to go at least once. Like I don't train as much as like most people in weightlifting because I'm also at the track.
No, not weightlifting, but that's my whole point. Because track is your sport, so you don't live in the gym, right? When your track is a priority, how often are you lifting weights?
I try to get in once a week, like a month, maybe twice, but.
And then once a week you're going.
I do like a nice quick power clean because most of the time track it's like every single week there's a meet, so I don't want to get too sore.
Right. So just a decent heavy-ish weight to get that neural drive going. Yeah. Now, when you're in off season and you're training, that's when I mostly see you.
Yeah, that's when you do all the work.
That's when the grind starts. Well, the grind in the gym starts.
Yeah.
And once you get going, you're going heavy at least twice a week, right? Minimum. Yeah. Right? And the rest is normally volume days and so on and so forth. But when training you train a lot more like a weightlifter, so you actually go heavy a little bit more than the like most common athletes.
Yeah, I definitely do less volume.
Less volume and more heavy work. In terms of going to Harvard, and you're excited about that.
I'm so excited.
What are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to the actual like training and like the schedule because right now I have to travel almost an hour like with traffic to get places. So now if I can just walk there in 5 minutes, I feel like I'll have a lot more time that I didn't even realize I was missing. Right. I'm excited to work more like on specific track events. Right. Because for me and my dad, it's hard to get like a high jump hit or a long jump hit. Right. So I don't really train those as much as I'd like to. So it's going to be nice to have a coach who like is really specific with those events.
And I can definitely see those. The more you train it, the more it's going to skyrocket. Exciting. So, and that's one of the difficult things, makes it harder, the struggles you're going through with COVID. Let me hear a little bit about that.
It's hard to find anywhere to train. I got really lucky. Like, we had enough connections to find a place to run, to train here, but it's definitely I feel bad for everyone else who like doesn't have that.
Yeah.
Because I know like I got lucky. My last meet last year were the times that I used to get into university.
Right.
It was like beginning of March.
Right.
So there are a couple people where they didn't get that, and they were counting on like last year, like this season, which is gone. So they might not get into the schools they want, which I do feel bad for them. And especially you're younger than me, because they're using grade 9 times.
Right.
And the US is still competing and everything. So it's definitely hard for them. I've been lucky.
Yeah, you're a good person. You care about other people. That's good. It's not just about you.
Yeah, like I'm grateful enough that I have had the opportunity to train most of the time. Like, you let me borrow a set of weights and I train in my backyard.
And your dad sent me a video.
I'm sure my neighbors appreciate the dropping.
The dropping. By any means necessary, you know? That's just that can't stop, won't stop mentality.
Yeah, and like my dad bought a track and some hurdles, so we made it work. I know a lot of people, like, they couldn't do that, so.
Yeah, so, you know, I
was okay.
Yeah, you gotta count your blessings for that, so that's true. So for me, like, the word dominate, I really love that word, because for me personally, it's not just about, you know, hey, you know, dominating your sports. It's just a way of life, and I think you alluded to that at the beginning. And I really like to know, what does dominate mean to you?
Yeah, it means that I'm doing everything I can, like everything I can control and everything in my power to be the best I can be at like whatever I kind of target or whatever I want to. So for school, for track, for weightlifting.
Let me hear those marks in school. It's okay.
They're high. They're
good. Love it. Student athlete. Love it. What else? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Even just life, like making sure I get the right nutrition and I like don't just skip a bunch of meals. Making sure that I study enough. I go to all my practices, because there are definitely days where you just don't want to do it.
What keeps you going?
The end goal, like knowing that other people are there training. Like, you can't just not train.
Right.
Because you're not the only one working. So is every other person you're competing against. So
100%. So the fact that you know, okay, you're taking this day off, but your competitor is probably...
Yeah. So I think always kind of having that in the back of your mind, knowing like, sure, if you take this day off, what is everyone else doing? Like, they're not just sitting there.
Yeah. I remember years ago, PK Subban, and the kid was just annoying, man. He wanted to train like every day. Well, we just took a day out, like in the gym every day. And but one of the big things he said to me is like, you know, Clance, if I feel like I take a day off, you know, he goes, in his head, he just had this thing in his head. There's this kid in Russia who's training when he's taking a day off.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, that was his thing. If he took a day off, it drove him nuts. Like, he had to do something.
Yeah, and that was like Rich Clune, like the hockey player. He's run with me a couple times at Birchmount. And I remember he told me once, he's like, somewhere in the world, coach is dragging the kid off the track, and I was there wanting to leave. It definitely humbles you.
Yeah, it definitely does, man.
So that's kind of stuck with me. That was, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago.
Good. And it's amazing how, you know, these little things, and you know, PK said that to me, how many years ago now? Maybe 8 years ago. You know, 8, 9 years ago, and it just stuck with me.
Yeah.
Never forget that. So for those young, aspiring athletes, female athletes, or even male, what is their one thing, or 2 or 3 things? What would you like to, you know, tell those people or those young athletes coming up who want to achieve their goals?
Yeah, I think like you have to focus on yourself and kind of like what you're trying to accomplish. Because for me, like when I started out, I wasn't winning any races. Because they're the people, like, they're older than you, they're bigger. They were running much faster times. Like, I was happy to come in 8th or make a final. So I think if I focused on what they were doing and always comparing myself to them, I don't know if I'd still be running.
Right.
But my dad always reminded me, like, they're bigger, they've been doing this for longer. Like, as long as you're improving, that's what matters. So I think that's probably the biggest thing. for me at least.
So I love that. So what you're saying is the biggest thing for you is just focus on yourself.
Yeah, like make sure that you're the one improving, and like as long as you're improving, getting better on like your own marks, like it doesn't really matter what they're doing.
Just focus on yourself. It's good to understand what the competitor's going, but your main point is focus on yourself.
Yeah, because like when you start out, you're not gonna be the best. You're not gonna be breaking records. So, or at least I wasn't.
Yeah.
So that was a big thing for me.
And that is important, right? Because I've heard about, there's this thing that I've learned from this world-renowned coach, and he said it's champion's disease. So you have some athletes who come and they win everything, so they get complacent. Then you have other athletes who, when they first started, they didn't win everything. They're not complacent. They don't want to. They know what it's like to lose, and they don't want to go back and lose after they started winning. And the athletes with the champion disease, they get complacent. They don't want to lose, so they don't actually do the work sometimes. And it's kind of funny, like because they don't want to lose, or because they're used to winning. Yeah. They're not putting the actual work to stay on top.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? They get complacent. So good for you.
Thank you.
I'm so happy for you. So proud of you.
Thank you.
Like, I love your work ethic. I love your training, ferocity. I love your focus. And I can't say enough. And your father, he's done an amazing job. A lot of people I talk to a lot of people. Or, they come and say, "Oh, Clance, great job." They don't know. No, man. I said, George trains Izzy. I'm just here in the gym, just giving her a couple weights to throw around here and there. But the real mastermind. Yeah, George is like the manager of everything. Yeah, he just stays in the background. He's happy in the back. But I'm letting people know, George, your dad is a bad man. He's an amazing coach, man. He's an amazing coach. So he might want to cut this out. I don't give him enough credit. Yeah, he might want to cut this out, knowing George. But I got to give him props. But Izzy, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure training you. I can't wait to see you, checking NCAA track meets and watching this. You get at it. So, yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. This is awesome. Welcome.